Emotion.
Hey, what's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I see that Isaiah has popped in here by mistake, so we're going to take him out. But good morning to everyone. I see you, Marion Jackson. I see you, Adrian. I see you, Regina. I see you, Deborah Johnson. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, Adrian, hit that smash button. Yes. I have to laugh sometime when we came in here. Y'all saw Isaiah was in here as well. Every now and then there's, there's different things that you hit. So that happens every now and then. You just know we're live. Those things happen live. So you know that we're live and we're on a digital platform. So I want to say good morning, good morning, good morning to all of you. I see you, Shirley Nicholson, rolling up in here as well. I see you. Y'all, we're going to take a different turn today for the news because there's been so much news. We're still going to bring you news. We're going to bring it down just a notch today. I'm learning that it's good to balance because we don't know what's going to happen the next day. I see you, Yvonne Gardner, coming in here as well. All right, on yesterday, we released the tickets at 12 noon for the color purple. Again, and Isaiah, if you can put that image up, please, for the color purple so we can talk about it real quick. Y'all came in here. Y'all came in here to get those tickets. Now, we still have some available. I see you, Stephanie Burbridge Hall. We still have some of those available. But yes, y'all, myself, along with Kenya, we have permission from Marcus Theater. We have a release that's 2 weeks early, December the 9th at 12 noon at the Crossroads Theater here in Columbus, Ohio. I see you, Jackie. Good morning to you. So, y'all, there are only the entire space that we have allows for 70 seats. It allows for 70 seats. And many of those tickets are gone. So if you want to get tickets, I would encourage you to do so like as soon as this broadcast is over. There's a link on the screen. We'll also put the link in the chat so that you can have it. We also want to stress the tickets are $15, and a portion of those proceeds are going to a nonprofit organization that we will present to that executive director, that founder on the day of. So we're really excited about that. But we also wanted to make sure we share it with all of you that we did not include concessions in the ticket. And that means like your whatever you're eating that day. And the reason why, when we were looking at the menu, so many people are eating different today. And so the candy, the popcorn, the soda, we said, we don't want to even enter into this. So we're allowing all of you to get your own concessions that you're paying for. So we wanted to say that to all of you. We believe that we will sell out. Again, believe the tickets are half gone, if not more than half gone. I have a funny. I won't name the person. I have a funny for you. At 12:01, someone ringed my phone and said, "Gail, it's 12:01 and it's not up. The tickets aren't working." And I said, "Okay, well let me look." And then like within 30 seconds, never mind, it's up, it's up. And I'm telling y'all started getting those tickets. It was extremely exciting. It was extremely exciting. So again, there are a few more tickets available. When I say a few, I think there's less than 20 tickets available. Again, it's December the 9th at 12 noon at Crossroads Theater in Columbus, Ohio. And all you out of towners, come on and hang out with us if you want to. There's hotels right there. There's things to do. Come hang out with us. But we're looking for a wholesome and a joyful time. So we're really excited about it. And I want to personally say thank you for all of you and how you responded to that. Myself, my son, and Kenny Stanley did the Black Panther, the original one. And I was like, I'll never do this again. Because believe me, we got the swag bags. Y'all gonna have some bags. Y'all gonna have some good stuff in those bags. We also have prizes and giveaway. And I will also be giving away tickets on News in Motion as well. So again, thank y'all for your response. Again, there are some left. So we just want to say thank you. The other thing we want to talk about, what's up, Sardinia? The other thing we want to talk about, and thank you for those of you who were out there buying merch on yesterday. For News in Motion, we have a yes, Kim Edmondson. I saw you. Yeah, I'm sidebar before I get to this merch. It was by 12:03 because I get the alerts of every time tickets were being purchased and it was telling me how many were left. Yeah, that my alerts went off for an entire hour. And then Stephanie Burbridge Hall, my alert went off at like 10 something last night. And I said, Stephanie's still buying tickets. I was like, how many tickets? Because I've seen Stephanie's name at least 4 times come across there. I said, Stephanie is still buying tickets. So we're just so excited. And yes, wear your purple, wear your purple. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. And Stephanie's in the chat cracking up. I was like, what? So she had to think about somebody else because at that point it was one ticket. I said, okay, Stephanie thought about somebody else. She's getting another ticket. So again, thank y'all for y'all's response to that. And there are a few tickets left. When I say a few, there's probably I think there's less than 20 at this point that are left. So then the merch, the products. Y'all are really answering the call, and y'all have no idea how that makes my heart sing. Okay, and we realized that we weren't really sharing it often, so many people did not even know that we had merch and things existed. So we now have a signature gear line, and that's the logo, the vote logo that Pastor Carl Wright designed for us from the vision that I had dreamt of this. Like I could seriously see it. So he designed it. So we're going to put an image up of that. And these are the 6 signature um, gear merch for News in Motion. So leave those up there for a minute. We have the vote mug. We have the vote sweatshirt. In the middle, you see the women's tee, and that comes in white and black. I had the black one on last week. There's the vote travel mug, and that vote symbol is on both sides of the travel mug. Those only come in white. We have the men's t-shirt. Y'all been asking for those, the men's t-shirt. And then we have the vote tote bag, and on the opposite side, it says News in Motion. The vote mug, the signature is on both sides of that. And then the sweatshirt is unisex. And I always get the orders first because I want to look at them. And so we just have to pay attention to some of the things that are out there. And that sweatshirt, I want to tell y'all, is the most comfortable sweatshirt I've ever worn. You can go to gaildudley.com/shop and get the signature gear. So that is our signature logo, our signature gear when it comes to voting. Kim Edmondson says, I got my shirt. Latrice Jones says, yes, I'm going to be super fly when I go to vote. That's what I'm talking about. Also, y'all, the vote on the sleeves of the t-shirt, News in Motion is on the left sleeve of the t-shirt. News in Motion is on the back of the sweatshirt. It's on the back. It's like a back label outside on the sweatshirt. Now, I could not get News in Motion on the mug or the travel mug, but believe you me, Pastor Carl is trying to help me figure it out because we need everybody to know that that is trademark. That belongs to News in Motion. So on the front side, you all, thank you. Um, and I want to share with you in case any of you have questions. You're like, wow, so a sweatshirt's $24 or $27 if it's a 4XL. Yeah. But on all the products, and we want to be very transparent with this, there's only a $2 markup. So our profit is only $2. But we just want to make sure to get it out there so that people can start talking and having a conversation. Deborah Sneak, good morning to you, my brother. He says, nice looking t-shirt, sis. Thank you. Getting mine. All right, Stephanie. Good morning, Patricia Lyles. So we wanted to get all of that out the way. So that's the color purple. If you don't have your tickets, the ticket link is in the thread. We get a private screening on December the 9th. And again, thank you to Kenya for putting a fire behind me saying, come on, G, you can do this. You can. I was like, girl, I said I would never do that again. But we're going to have a good time. And y'all know me, those of you who know me, it's not going to be something small. Those swag bags are off the chain. Do y'all hear me? It's almost as if you're attending the movie free after everything you're going to get that day. So just wanted to put that out there. All right, y'all. In the news today, we have Hamas released 2 elderly Israeli women held hostage in Gaza on yesterday. as the United States expressed increasing concern that the escalating Israel Hamas war will spark a wider conflict in the region, including attacks on American troops. So, y'all, this is getting real. Anytime you put that kind of statement out there, there's something that they know, the intel that they are receiving. So, that also signals for us to pray. Yeah, more than 200 others are believed to still be held, which, if you recall, that means that the number they initially thought were being held is higher. It's much higher. AP reports the U.S. has been pressing Israel to delay a ground war in Gaza to buy time to negotiate the return of more hostages. However, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that talks to free 50 hostages stalled after Israel rejected demands that fuel be allowed into Gaza. So there's some back and forth, some pushback. So we just have to wait to see how all of this plays out. In in the house of chaos, there's no new news. Let's just say it like that. There is no new news. None. They were supposed to come out this morning with, this is our nominee. That didn't happen yesterday. So that says a lot about what's going on today. There was to be debate at 9 a.m. this morning on the House floor with the vote to follow. That's not happening now at 9 a.m. And it's interesting how everyone's now calling the 9 who are running lower level. I thought, what? So they're now giving them a label of lower level. So y'all remember yesterday I was telling you about the whip, Tom Emmer, excuse me. I was telling you about Tom Emmer and how he was like totally against not certifying the election. And there's only two. It's Tom Emmer and Austin Scott. I was sharing that with y'all yesterday. Well, I guess Tom Emmer figured he couldn't stand alone. And after all this time, he reached out to the former guy for his support. And y'all, that's enough for you to pause and say, what does this man have that people feel they need him on their side? Now, if you are a true believer and you are a true follower of Jesus, you don't need to call man to say, hey, can you endorse me? Because your father has already endorsed you. So it's just really interesting how this is coming about. And I'm thinking, man, I had so much respect for you until you made that phone call yesterday. What's up with that? I really want to hear from you all. What's really going on? So now they're floating his name again to become speaker. Yes, Kim Edmondson. What the what? Yes, Adrian. That's desperation. And that smells funny. It's like, what made him do that? So, of course, the former guy is on Truth Social talking about him real bad. Like, yeah, he needs me. He didn't like me until yesterday. He needs me. Like, everyone knows they need me. Well, so far, your people, including Jim Jordan, didn't get through. Kevin McCarthy didn't stay in the seat. So what's really going on? So now you have Byron Donald from Florida. I told you about his quote yesterday, coming after AOC. So now they're becoming bullies to Democrats across the aisle to try to rise up to get that speaker seat. Shouldn't you have learned by now that Kevin McCarthy sold his soul and look what it got him? 9 months later. Is that the route you really want to take? So I just want to put that out there, y'all. This is what's going on. There are less than 30 days before the government shutdown, which they will vote on that on or decide on that on November the 17th. They can't even vote because there's no speaker at the moment. And so we're facing this. These are the things that we're facing. So I just wanted to share that with you. Y'all, AP is reporting that 41,000 auto workers are now picketing after the strike of Stellantis plant shuts down the big profit center. The United Auto Workers, or UAW, union has once again escalated its strike against the big Detroit automakers, this time adding a factory that makes Ram pickup trucks for Stellantis. The union says that 6,800 members walked out yesterday, what they're calling a surprise walkout. So CNN Business and CNBC's reporting that out of this 6,800 workers, the Ram 1,500 assembly plant just shut down. which now includes more than 40,000 of the 145,000 UAW members. But it's not going to stop there either. So the president, the UAW president, Sean Fain, promised to increasingly squeeze Stellantis, Ford, and GM until they agree to some union demands. So he's still pushing for some union demands that they may not get. And he's saying in a quote, it's time to amp up the pressure. Well, isn't there already pressure? It's like at some point you have to start asking the question, who's either not listening or who's playing the game and running something behind the background? What's really happening out of here? And are we concerned about the families? Their pay, their benefits, and plus the world who's waiting for your product. So we have this going on. So y'all, the strike began September the 15th, and the big three have lost at this point 4.2 million, and their suppliers. Now listen, the big three. I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. The big three, they collectively have lost 4.2 million. Okay, it's a lot of money. That's not a lot of money. Okay, it's up to them. But their suppliers, the people that are outside of this strike, have lost 2.8 billion. That's with a B. Make that make sense. So this is hurting, or this is set to hurt the big three, because you want more, you want more pay. Yes, I agree. You want more pension, or you want your pension back. You want benefits. You want I get it. Yes, absolutely. But at what point do you really start having a one-on-one conversation to where the numbers are making sense? Because now you've hit your suppliers on the outside with 2.8 billion. So what's going to happen, let's say, if the suppliers say we can no longer survive, so we're going to have to close shop, and those employees are going to lose. They're going to lose salary. They're going to lose benefit. It's a bigger picture than what we're seeing here. So yeah, let's have that conversation as well. And according to Anderson Economic Group, this 2.8 billion is starting to trickle down. So Stellantis, Ford, and GM have offered record improvement to wages and working conditions. However, the president Fain, believes that they can offer more. Well, how much more? And this is my question to Sean Fain. How much money you getting? I'm just wondering. And are you still getting a paycheck? Are you still having benefits? Like seriously, at what point do you need to bring in other people around you to make sure that you haven't gone off somewhere too far deep that you can't come back? Latrice Jones says, if the suppliers have that kind of loss, how are they going to recover? Great question. Great question. And it's really putting their backs up against the wall. And y'all know me, before I put a number out there, I had to fact check it. There's some people that have that number higher. There's some people have it 3.1 billion. So, but the average was a 2.8, so I went with the 2.8. But a great question, great question. Now, y'all know me, so I had to start searching around, because there's some talks that people are saying they need workers, they don't want the plants to close, they want to start hiring other people, which can get into some other shenanigans and mess. So y'all know me. I started looking. I found AP News, who came through for me. So y'all, here are the current strikes that are happening right now. Right now, the teachers union in Portland, Oregon, they vote to strike over class size, pay, and lack of resources. Workers at Mexico's federal courts launched a 4-day strike over president's planned budget cuts. The Hollywood actors strike. Those negotiations have shut down. That conversation has shut down. Detroit casino workers strike and last labor strife in Michigan. In the latest labor strife, I'm sorry, in Michigan. You have the Canadian auto workers, who are set to go on strike on October 29th, and that's the deadline at Stellantis, with the bargaining beginning tomorrow. Kaiser Permanente, although they reached a tentative deal, it's been tentative for far too long. So there's more talks about, well, let's get back out here. Let's walk back out. Walgreens, did y'all know this? Walgreens pharmacy staffers staged a walkout over work conditions. Las Vegas area teachers union challenges law prohibiting members from striking. That means they want to strike. So right now they're dealing with this whole law that's prohibiting them from striking. The workers at Mack Truck, we talked about this one already. They rejected the contract. Yeah, they rejected the contract that was delivered to them and joined the thousands of UAW picketers already on strike. And then Southern California hotel workers are in what you call a rolling strike. So here's my question, everyone. As I say good morning to you, Dr. Antoinette, what's really going on? Is it that as a society we're just done and we're over? As a people, we're like enough? What's really at the root of some of this? And then how can people protect themselves? And I think it's safe to say that the House GOP representative that they're on strike. There's nothing else we can call it, but they're on strike. They made the decision that we're just not going to do this. We're going to keep getting paid $174,000 plus a $650 a year health thing. That's all they pay. They don't pay for anything else. $650 a year for their health care. That's all they pay. That's all they pay. Latrice Jones says, folks are tired and willing to sacrifice for better. This isn't good. No, people are like, we're done. I told y'all yesterday about the CEOs, like, peace, 1,400 of them. Like, we're out, we're done, we're done. Kim Edmondson says our country is out of control. And it's like, how do we get this back on a level playing field? I'm not for sure it was ever leveled, but how do we get back some sort of normalcy, especially coming from from COVID? So we have all this going on. So I've been reading a lot as I'm looking at all of these things. I told you this is going to be different today, so just hang with me because I think this is going to help some of you, or for your children or grandchildren or whomever. But it's question time today, and I have a list of questions. Yeah, but it's funny. Sidebar. Um, my mom was saying to me not too long ago, she says, I was asking them a lot of questions. She said, you are always asking us a lot of questions. She goes, you have been asking us questions since you knew how to walk and talk. She goes, and you didn't just ask the why question. You are constantly asking us questions that made us scratch our heads. And I said, well, I'm back to that now, news and emotion. She said, oh, Lord, that was her response. She goes, why do you ask all these questions? I said, because you have to ask questions to get an understanding. And I am real good. Yeah, I am the negotiator at the Dudley household. I can ask one question 20 ways and they not sound the same because I'm trying to get to the bottom of my question. Like, and that didn't answer what I was looking for. So I ask it another way. And sometimes the household will push back and like, well, you just kind of asked me that question. No, I didn't. I asked you this. Now I'm asking you this because I need to get to the bottom so I can get a better understanding. That's why I should have really been an attorney, but that's for another time. So I put together the following questions that can help prospective employees assess the situation and align their choices with their values and career objectives, and to make informed decisions about whether to join a company already experiencing labor disputes and resignations. And I put this together because there are some companies who are now going outside to hire people in, and people are saying, wow, the money sounds good. But my question is, well, why aren't you paying the people who are out there on the picket line instead of giving somebody who's never worked for you a higher pay and a higher benefit package? That's exactly what the people outside are asking for. Okay. So here's some of the questions I believe that you should consider answering. Number one, what is my motivation for joining this company? And when I ask that question, I want you to reflect on your reasons for wanting to work at a particular company and whether they align with your long term career goals and values. Even if you are a business owner and people want you to come in as a consultant, you still have to weigh that. You have to weigh that. Then another question: have I searched the reasons for this strike and resignations? So I'm not just talking strikes, I'm also talking resignations. And then take time to understand the specific issues that have led to the strike and resignations. Get an understanding as okay, what's really here, and are these issues that you're comfortable with or willing to support? Because if you're going into something like I'm not supporting this, then you're in the wrong place, and you should have never accepted it in the first place. Okay, we have to get beyond a paycheck. And I know that's very hard today. And we have to get beyond the benefits. We have to get back to integrity, reputation, where you stand, what you're willing to do or not willing to do. What is the company's stance on the labor situation and how have they responded to the strike? And then it's good to get beyond, like, for example, the president of the UAW and start looking at, okay, what's been issued, what's been offered, how much of a wage increase has been offered, and then you get to decide. Well, they gave like a $20 increase per hour for workers. I'm making this up, and so then you say, well, what's the problem? Why aren't they going back in for the $20? That will help you, or you can see, oh, they only gave a dollar increase. I see why they're still on the line. I see why they're still not satisfied. So you look at it that way. And then investigate how the company has reacted to the labor situation and have they made efforts to address the concerns of their employees or have they taken a more adversarial approach? Another question: what are the potential risks and consequences of joining during this period? All right, I'm gonna get to the bottom. We're talking about, you got to be careful crossing the picket line, but consider the potential disruptions and challenges you may face from employees. Imagine they come off the picket line, they come back in there, you join the organization in the midst of all of this. They're not going to like you. They're not going to like you. They're going to come after you. And are you willing to withstand that? And can you ever work around that? Do you have a backup plan or options in case the situation worsens? It's important to have a contingency plan, people, in case the labor situation escalates, or if you become uncomfortable in the working conditions, or if the person that comes back in there ends up being your supervisor and you get terminated. There are at will states. Latrice Jones says, do companies, organizations have to conduct exit interviews? I think the answer to those questions aren't out there because employers don't ask and don't care when people leave and or strike. Very great observation. And like there's organizations such as Glassdoor where people go in, employees, and put reviews, but you have to be careful with that as well because you don't know why they exited or why they were terminated. Because it could have been the company was like, look, this person really did terrorize people. And you're going to believe somebody's comment, but that comment may not be right. So that you have to weigh those. But there are indeed, LinkedIn even has a good section on that as well. But a person who is terminated or resigned, they may or may not share their truth. So that's a difficult thing. Absolutely. Another question: how do the company's values and culture align with your own? You have to assess whether the company's cultures and values are in line with your personal and professional beliefs. Have I, question you got to ask yourself, have I spoken with current or former employees about their experiences? Reaching out to current and former employees and having a conversation, asking them. Adrian says, being a scab worker isn't a good look. Hey, there's that. What are the potential implications for my career growth and development? That's another question. Am I prepared to adapt to the dynamics of an uncertain work environment? Recognize that the situation may be fluid and unpredictable. You have to ask yourself, are you comfortable with adapting to changes and uncertainties in your work? Another question: can I negotiate terms and conditions in my employment contract that address my concerns? Be careful with that. But the other thing is, if they're not negotiating with the people on strike, how can you really trust the negotiation with you? Lori says these are great questions. Y'all should really, I'm 58. I can still do it, right, y'all? What are my tolerance for risk, stress, and potential conflicts in the workplace? Look, if your hair is already thinning, if you are already on edge, if you are already filled with anxiety, that may not be for you. Okay, you have to be honest and ask yourself the question. And I put these questions out here again to get beyond money because $100,000 may say, forget the rest of it. I'm going in there, but you may be spending that $100,000 on care for yourself or care for your family. Okay. The next question: do you have a support system or resources to help you navigate these situations? Consider whether you have a support network such as friends, family, professional associations that can offer guidance and assistance during challenging times. Lori Wallace says those are so great, such great questions. As you always say, do your research. Do your research, absolutely. And then I have one more question, and that is, do I cross the picket line? Especially if they're striking, and what are the ethical and personal implications for you? Crossing a picket line. I went looking at this. I wanted to find out what all this means. Crossing a picket line involves a moral and ethical decision. Consider your stance on labor rights and whether you are comfortable with potential personal and professional consequences of crossing a picket line. And then also, I've learned through reading a lot of this, crossing a picket line during a strike may have implications for your reputation, your relationships with coworkers, and alignment to your own values. It's essential to reflect on your personal beliefs and principles before making a decision. So, y'all, I wanted to put that out there. Dr. Antoinette says regarding leaving comments, at one point, I worked for a company owned by two lawyers. They and their own staff on staff lawyer used to look for comments on career sites for former employees, so they could retaliate against them. Wow. Wow. Yeah, so you have to navigate through this, but I thought it was important to share these questions today with everything that's going on, even in the House of Representatives. There's a lot that's going on. Imagine the tension, excuse me, in those closed door GOP conferences. Imagine the tension behind those closed door conferences. Imagine the back and forth. Imagine telling and I'm gonna use Byron Donald as an example. He's been extremely quiet. He's one of the nine who was also election denier, um, going after AOC. Now, first off, I've never seen him. The little I know of him, go after anybody. So were you told to go after AOC? Like what where did that come from? And how do you feel or after doing that? Like what is really going on here? So the clash and then the attacks and all that. Can you handle that? Now AOC I believe can handle it, but at the same time to just be attacked out of nowhere with words, make that make sense, and your reputation and your integrity being on the line. Dr. Annette says those on the picket lines can be ferocious, even. Yeah, it's just like so much that are going on. So, just as you're thinking about the jobs that are opening and where you can go and how people, because they're saying they're now intentionally headhunters recruiting people, trying to bring them in. These are some questions you should be asking yourselves, especially those of you with student loan debt. You're trying to find a way out, and you may think, wow, this money will help me, so let me go for it. It's more than the money, y'all. It's more than the money. Also, to switch gears before we get out of here today, AP and NBC News reports an off-duty pilot, y'all probably heard about this, riding in the extra seat of the cockpit of a Horizon airline, which is also Alaskan Airlines, um, passenger jet, tried to shut down the engines in mid-flight and had to be subdued by the crew. A pilot flying the plane told air traffic controllers. Flight 2059, operated by Alaskan Airlines, a subsidiary Horizon, took off from Everett, Washington, and was bound for San Francisco, Alaskan Airlines said in a statement. Authorities in Oregon identified the man as Joseph David Emerson, age 44. He is being held on 83 counts. That was how many people were on that plane, each of attempted murder and reckless endangerment, and one count of endangering an aircraft, according to the county sheriff office. Now, really? So now he was an off-duty pilot. I just want y'all to think about this a moment. He was an off-duty pilot who had authorization to sit in the cockpit, what you call the jump seat. Imagine if that was the day he was actually an on duty pilot, and he was the only one up there flying the plane. That plane would have been down. Like, seriously. Y'all, this is what is happening. This is what is happening. Um, so that's what's this is wow. Kim Edmondson says all money isn't good money. You got that right. Annette Jackson says, I was wondering what the backstory of that fiasco was. There's that. And Lori's talking about recruiters are seriously searching hard now. My hubby is being recruited for a college in LA and New York. Hello. I'll come visit you in both of those places, sis. Just let me know. And then Deborah Johnson says that situation was insane. So, y'all, this is what's happening in America right now. This is what's happening. And before I get out of here and give you the inspirational message, Amazon has begun delivering prescription medicine by drone in Texas as it continues to try out non-human deliveries. Okay. I kept reading that and I read the backstory and already some of the things that are happening where people know that something's about to be delivered somewhere and they know the people aren't home or they rush there first to get the medicine. Is that smart? I'm just wondering, is that smart? I think we're trying to dehumanize so much that we are missing the fact of what how humans respond. So let's say you're sending over by drone some Percocet. I guess it's still out there. I don't know. Whatever. And somebody's addicted to drugs, medicine. And they know, oh, there's a drone just dropped some medication. Let me go get it. Like, really, what's really going on? And do y'all think that's a good idea or a bad idea? Um, Elizabeth Town says, or the delivery goes to the wrong address. There's that. Lori says those drones are about to take a lot of people's jobs. Yeah, yeah. It's just a mess. And then yeah, Dr. Annette, thank you for putting that. She goes, he says, I wish a college would recruit me to teach. I don't know what she's saying. To teach remote? Is that what you're saying? REMOTOO. Help me with that one. And then Marion says policies need to be changed regarding off-duty pilots. Policies need to be changed about a lot. So again, y'all, today's news was a little different. I want to end this with this inspirational message today. I went back to Matthew 7. You know, I was in Mark. I went back. I'm going back to Mark today. But as we're coming up on remotely, thank you, Dr. Annette. Coming up on the Thanksgiving holiday, yeah, it hit me yesterday. I was looking at my calendar to schedule somebody for a coaching session, and I was like, November 3rd, that can't be correct. Like November? And I was like, it's really November. Like next Friday is November. Next Wednesday is November. Seriously. Like, wow. So I was reading Matthew 7 and picked up where it says, let traditions go when it comes to the things of God. Yeah, AI is taking over. Um, and I thought, wow. But it's really about love. All right, y'all. Verse 13 in Matthew 7 says, you nullify the word of God by your traditions that you have handed down. Now, I know they're talking about a church scene, um, uh, church institution, and so forth, but I took it personally. And I thought, wow, we nullify the word of God by our traditions that we have handed down. On Thanksgiving, I told my siblings this last night. I said, I'm not cooking. I said, for the first time in a long time, I'm not cooking one thing. I said, actually, I've already had envisioned having a pizza from Tommy's Pizza in Central Ohio, which I know I have to get it on Wednesday. I'm gonna have on my pajamas. My family cut is, I think it's called cuddle duds, that are so soft to get in the holiday mood. I'm gonna have on my fluffy slippers, my like I like those really thick socks that you can't slide or anything. And I'm gonna have a blanket and a pillow. I'm gonna have the Macy's Day Parade on. I'm going to have mimosas out the wazoo. I am Netflix, whatever. But I'm gonna be a bum. And I thought when I read this, I was like, that's exactly where I'm headed. And it doesn't mean I don't love my family. It doesn't mean I'm not thankful or grateful or anything like that. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means I want to be by myself and do nothing. And I thought about the traditions, which there's some great traditions that we have handed down from one person to another. But do they always have to look the same? And as your families are growing and as people are changing and society is changing and your children are married and doing things with their family or having children or maybe just want to hang out with some girlfriends today or whatever or small group or couples group or whatever, why can't it be different and be okay with it? Why do we continuously hand down something and then get mad when the other person doesn't receive the way things are going? Who says Thanksgiving always have to be at your house? So what, you have the biggest house? Who cares? Why can't we all be in a small house? I can remember going to my parents' house and there's so many of us. We were sitting on the steps all the way up the steps around the corner where you can't even be seen, but you could be heard because we were all really loud. But that was fun. But now we do all these different things. Well, let's start thinking about things differently. And I guess this is the freedom that I'm in right now to do things different. And y'all, it is okay. Let me catch what some of you are saying. That I know Isaiah has to get out of here. Dr. Ness says, I will be serving the community in honor of my husband. Amen. Jackie says, our new pastor is all for getting rid of traditions. She says, they're killing us. I like that you said, she said, hallelujah. Deborah Johnson says it means well-deserved extreme self-care. Yes. Shirley says, I'm there. Yeah, and I know you cook up a storm, Shirley. Great food all the time. My sister says, I understand, sister, but I'll be with my children. And do it. But remember, you're usually with all of us, all 45 of us. So I don't even like that number. We're going to change that. Somebody needs to have a kid. 46 of us. So we could do something different. I love that. Kim Edmondson says, get back to basics. Yes. My sister says, up the stairs. Memory. Yeah. Remember you sit up the steps? Like seriously, all the way up the steps. And we couldn't even, but we could be heard. We could be heard. And my sister says, up the stairs. Yeah. So y'all, let's just be open. There's a lot of people out here struggling. I told you about so many strikes that are happening right now. We don't know what's going to happen with the government. We don't have a speaker of the house. Y'all, it's been more than 20 days. No speaker of the house. People are struggling. People are going through mental health issues. People are dealing with they're doing self-evaluations. I know I have. I know I've done some self-evaluations. Like, why am I doing this? Do I need to continue to do it this way? A great coach, besides myself, a great coach is I can name you two. Apostle Anita Dawson, great coach. If you're looking for some spirituality coaching, great spiritual formation coach. And also our very own Davia William Stevenson, great coach, great coach, great coach. Y'all align yourself, y'all invest in a coach. Instead of giving like hats and gloves and this, that, and the other for Christmas, give coaching, give an hour of coaching to somebody. People out here need it. There's a lot going on. Lori says, amen. Some of us are just tired and need a reset. I love that reset. With that, y'all, until tomorrow, this has been Gail Dudley, your host of News in Motion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all go get the rest of those tickets for Color Purple. That's December 9th right here in Columbus, Ohio. The link is somewhere in the chat. Make sure you check that out. Those tickets we don't believe will be here by Friday. So go ahead and grab yours up now. Stephanie, I'm sure you're going to get in there and get a couple more knowing you. But y'all, remember to keep moving, make bold moves, and live your life in abundance. All right, y'all, until tomorrow, I'm out.
News in motion.